And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome. You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say. Hey there, Leo. Welcome to Koi Plays Tarot. My name is Koi, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. We're looking at, in this round of reads, is going to be your first and last for the month of January. And with that being said, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2025. It's going to be an exciting year of reads and everything on my end, and I hope for yours too. And as an added thing now, individual reads are now open. So contact me, message me directly, and we'll try to figure that out, okay? So with your first and last reads, as I had in videos prior, is going to be a transition from the last month and also the last year into the now, right? This is represented by aces on top, tens on the bottom. Ace is representative of the new, ideas of opportunity, new ventures, potentially renewal, depending on the context, all represented by the elements of water, earth, fire, and air, cups, pentacles, wands, and swords, respectively. And their counterparts on the bottom are the tens. Tens representing culminations, conclusions, potential endings, things of that nature. So as a preamble to the read, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, even when it gets difficult, understand I, as your tarot card reader, am not here to misguide you or mislead you. Don't really do that around here. Even when it gets tough, I'm here for you. We talk about both rain and sunshine at this table, right? So lay the cards out and come what may. With that being said, Leo, first read of 2025. I'm really excited. And yeah, let's see what the cards say. We're going to start over here with your Ace of Cups, okay? And then we'll move out and move forward. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Leo in their reading. First, define that Ace of Cups. Interesting. I like that. But didn't hit the table, so I can't take. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Leo in their read today. To the Ace of Cups. Okay. Queen of Swords. We know what we know. We move on where we don't. High Priestess. Okay. So what we factually and unabashedly sure about. Okay. I hope we can do something with that. Five of Cups. If nothing else, we are sure about the pain that we experience in the current moment. Right? I don't know what the situation is, but let it be a learning lesson, not your stopping point. Right? There's so much new energy in the air, and even more so many new opportunities that may be coming your way. I don't want you to miss them just because we're focused on, yeah, I'm in pain right now. And it's not the prettiest thing in the world. I hope that there's something to be garnered from this or a new opportunity that could come from it. And the reason I'm saying that, Leo, is because that's all under your Ace of Cups. What we know is the pain, but through that, we also know prominence, right? There's a life beyond it, right? Otherwise, none of that would show up underneath an overflowing cup, right? There is pain, but there's also more. So now we move to the Ace of Pentacles. What defines a new opportunity for the Leo collective as we move forward in this reading, first and last month of January? Show us cards that we need to see, please, for Leo in this reading. Straighten those out in a second. And give me a third. Cool. So this Ace of Pentacles over here. Eight of Wands. Okay, good. And that's what I'm saying. It's not that, pain is our stopping place. It's just where we are right now. What defines the Eight of Wands? King of Cups. I like this. Okay, and how so? Eight of Swords. Okay, so we could sit and be miserable over whatever this was, or we could say, and I got life to do, right? The reason I'm saying this for you, Leo, underneath your Ace of Pentacles, which represents solid, the solidity of new opportunities, here we see the Eight of Wands, first thing I pulled. And because of that, the Eight of Wands represents fast-moving directionality, but also direct communication and intentionality, right? I find it very interesting because this is also sandwiched by another eight, which is the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords being, we may not like some of the conclusions that we came to, but we don't have a choice right now. So what are we going to do with that? And then we have the King of Cups, which is held in between those two eights. Wanting to give the best, most emotionally abundant and mature version of ourselves towards a new opportunity ahead. So I don't know what was getting at you in terms of, just being stuck on, not simply misery, because that's so simplified and convoluted, but rather the notion of pain, that it's not going anywhere. I don't know what to do with this. I got somebody who's ready to pick themselves up again. And I'm happy for you for that. I don't know what that means for you exactly, but at least the conclusion that we come to when it comes to new opportunity is that, yeah, I got to be more intentional about it, but even more so, I have to act in my best interest and also acknowledge the things that I don't like. So we're having kind of a battle of emotions right now. One saying that pain is overwhelming, the other saying, yeah, and that's just one part of it. Fair enough. I like that. So let's move over to the Wands. Show the cards that we need to see, please. Find the Ace of Wands in this read. What defines the Ace of Wands in your read today? Define the Ace of Wands for Leo in this read. Page of Wands. Okay, I can respect that. How so? Seven of Cups. Okay, good. Even if small, we're still starting to believe in possibility again. The more we open ourselves up to our own fire, our own aptitude, because again, fire is your home element, Leo. The drive of the human spirit, the more that we remind ourselves of what is possible, it becomes. Okay. Well, we just made it interesting. Devil, the card of Capricorn. And at a time of recording, we are very much in Capricorn season, given that it's a new year. The notion of practicality and hierarchy, but even more so, let's not go overboard, right? So we're kind of having this notion of measured optimism, whereas we want to go, but is it coming from the right place, right? Having that combined with that Seven of Cups over here, yeah, the optimism, the energy I'm recalibrating. I'm getting it right. Cool, get that. But when it comes to possibility, is it something I truly want to pursue, or is it just me repeating the same cycle again? That's kind of the format that you're coming from, Leo. And I get that because, again, we're having this battle of emotionality, at least at your start. But don't always think that just because we come to a conclusion or we're trying to act on some type of premise, that it's automatically coming from a bad place, right? You said what you wanted. Now possibilities open up. Some good, some bad, some otherwise. You never know, but you won't know until you get there. Just make sure that it's coming from the right place. That's a better way to start. And lastly, to the Ace of Swords, what is our truth and by extension our challenge? What defines the Ace of Swords for Leo in this read? What defines the Ace of Swords for Leo in this read? Okay, to the Ace of Swords. King of Pentacles. Okay, so even off the jump, my truth, I know how to make better and right investments. Yes, I'm in pain right now, but there's so much more that I am capable of. Let that show through. Next, Judgment. The second highest of the major arcana. Have I learned my lesson? Am I doing this right, or are we going to repeat the same cycle again? Death, card of Scorpio. Whatever is past is past. Whatever is done is done. I can't control it right now. What I can do is do better. And I can, give myself the grace of growth. The grace of growth is already here. Underneath it all, Ace of Wands. The fire's coming back. Getting our groove back, whatever that means for you. But at least for the Leo that I'm seeing right now, we're trying to believe in the possible again. So great. Good for you, Leo. Starting off 2025 very strong. Now, where do we go with it? I think that's a better question. Now let's look at your tens. After we define the aces, let's now define the tens. Show the cards that we need to see, please, for Leo in this read. One of the 10 of Cups, what represents harmony and synchronicity, the things that are meant to be right now for Leo in their universe. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, upon the 10 of Cups. of Pentacles. Okay. So with the format laid out in front of you of everything that could, would, or should be, hey, if nothing else, we got options, and therefore there's investments to be made. Are we going to do it right? That's a bigger question. Next, Nine of Wands. We have the freedom to do what we want. What do we do with that? Right? These are both cards of action, one massively slower than the other, but they both represent ultimately the same thing if you combine them. Eight of Wands, direct intentionality, and we saw that under your Ace of Pentacles earlier. I think when we take pain in a measured response, right, and we're saying, hey, this has been weighing on me for so long now, we're now saying, okay, I'm going to pick myself up. I can't just sit here and be miserable and mull over it because I did that for the umpteenth time again. Now I'm moving towards a new opportunity. If I want it, I got to go get it. What does that mean for me now? Okay. 10 of Pentacles. So the cards that we need to see, please define that 10 of Pentacles for Leo in their read. What defines the 10 of Pentacles for Leo in their read today? Yeah. I like this. Very powerful, but rest assured, the Magician, the power of manifestation. That if I want this, this will also be a decision I have to make for the rest of my life. Right? The believing in the power of what can be built, not just the things that we have lofty optimism about. Next, the Four of Cups. And so what's driving us forward right now to actually say, here's what it's going to be, here's how we move forward. I'm not happy. And we don't have to be happy with the current circumstance, but also understand that's not the ultimate definition of who we are. The Magician is still saying that can override that Four of Cups. I know I'm dissatisfied. Let's dig at that. Why am I dissatisfied right now? What is guiding me to this point? That way we can address it and move on properly. Ace of Wands, still right back out again. Ace of Wands here being, it's going to be my responsibility to carry my own emotional weight moving forward. What does that mean for me? What does that actually look like? Next to the 10 of Wands. Show the cards that we need to see, please. Find that 10 of Wands for Leo and their read. What about the burdens that are carried and where we move forward with it? The Tower. Okay. So whatever, I want to preface this. Let's look at the rest before I say immediately what came to mind. King of Wands, that makes sense. And what's coupling that? The 10 of Cups. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Stop it right here. To say that our burdens are what we're sitting with right now, whatever you were looking for in the past completely broke apart and shattered in a way that fundamentally moved things around. I get that. The Tower. Tower is oftentimes seen as not the nicest card. It's actually one of the three biggest cards that people tend to worry about, but don't. Because honestly, the Tower wouldn't move anything around for us if it wasn't meant to already be moved. We got to do the best of what we got. The King of Wands saying, hey, it ain't perfect, but at least it's here. Now, accepting the 10 of Cups here, what true harmony actually looks like, what that means, that's my burden to find out. Whatever was happening earlier, and I'm still going back to this Ace of Cups for you, Leo, right? Whatever we started out with, we're in our own version of pain, but I think that's also speaking to its direct Ace counterpart. Okay, how did we get ourselves here? And let's be honest, right? How did we get ourselves here? And how are we kind of replicating that same pattern and calling it happiness? It broke apart, whatever it did that caused all this to happen in the first place. It broke apart in a very recent past. I get that. But even more so, there's a life to live beyond it. Now the question becomes, okay, what got me here? And I think you're trying to address the devil in a kind of backwards kind of way right now, because we're saying that, hey, the harmony that I have, it's too good to be true. Well, if it's too good, then what's too bad? Because too bad you already defined over here. So how are we moving? I think that's a better way we can address that. Lastly, the 10 of Swords. So the cards that we need to see, please define that 10 of Swords for Leo in this reading. sharp truths and conclusions. Going real fast today. Yeah. Okay. Ten of Swords defines the Ten of Swords. What is that shown with? The Sun. Interesting combination. Okay. Page of Swords. Interesting enough. I have to take responsibility for the part I played in it. Absolutely. Otherwise, nothing's going to move forward. I get that, Leo. Are we still in a perpetual state of punishment, or is there something to be gained out of that? Because again, the Sun popping out right next to that, and maybe it has to be this way, right? I can stay in a state of observance, and that's where I'm at right now. That's why the pain keeps coming back up, but it will lessen with time the more I can observe. Just don't get stuck there. Again, you got a lot of life to do. Right now, if happiness is opening up, then you also have to acknowledge the pain of an ending came with a reason. For you to find out what that means, that's for your work to do. Underneath it all, Nine of Pentacles, autonomy and freedom, but even more so the keys to our own garden. I don't know if you separate from somebody, or even more so just trying to find out, such an overused phrase, but new year, new me. What are we going to do with that? That's a bigger and better question to ask. Don't get stuck here. We have a lot of motion to go capture. Lastly, let's define the major arcana strewn across the table in your read. We will first look towards that High Priestess. Those are cards that we need to see. Please define deeper the cards spread across the table for Leo and their read. Let's look at the major arcana, starting with the High Priestess. Even if unvoiced, what do we know? What have we seen? Nine of Pentacles. Okay. So my choice from here on out, the investment I meant to have from here on out, and it's interesting because that showed up in on both the top and the bottom. The Nine of Pentacles under the High Priestess suggests, hey, I know how we got here. I'm not happy with how things turned out, but me sitting here anymore only invests further into the painful reality I'm living in right now. It doesn't do me any good to just sit here. And so my emotional renewal, what fulfills my cup, is the idea of opportunity laid out ahead. Is it pretty? No. Is it necessary? Absolutely. Okay. Next to the Devil, the card of Capricorn, Ten of Cups. Right. So how do we avoid repeating cycles? It's actually a lot simpler than you think. Right, we avoid repeating cycles. We can acknowledge basically what went wrong in the original agreement, what went wrong in the situation before, but even more so, saying that is the person who I was right then. Is it a pretty conversation? Absolutely not. But given that you have all this optimism and possibility ahead of you, I get why you're hesitant to even touch anything right now, to be open to every or any opportunity that's headed your way. However, that also locks you into repeating the same cycle you want to get away from. You see what I'm saying? It's better to understand the internal of where you were when all this, everything went down that broke apart, rather than just saying, okay, well, I can't believe in anything anymore, because I don't believe that for you, Leo. There's too much sharp endings and wide openings for you. I just refuse to believe that. Next to Judgment. Five of Cups. Okay, so the truth, have you learned your lesson, or will we repeat? Right? The pain coming out here, now saying we can get stuck there. We can pretend like we don't know math, or we could go live life. What do we do? These are the options that are laid out for you right now. In Death, the Page of Wands. I hope that you're happy. I hope that there's something to be garnered here, that we can do something right for once. But I don't mean that in a negativistic or like derogatory kind of way, Leo. I mean that more in a, hey, let's pull ourselves up, right? If we've been feeling down for the longest, let's try a little bit more, right? Give it one more shot. What does that mean for us moving forward? Next, there was another, sorry about the sneeze, and I'm not one of those. To the Magician, Four of Wands. Trying to get comfortable in the home and heart space, but also better relationships. Oh, I think I know where this is going. Hold on. Let me look at the Tower real quick. Two of Cups, what broke apart was a more intimate bond or connection. Yep. And that's why the Four of Wands coming out for the permanency of the home and heart space and relationships breaking. To the Sign, King of Wands. Now when we were once making the best of what we got, now we make more of what we got because what we got is a lot. Yeah. Putting those together, put very simply, I'm looking at a Leo who had to go their separate ways with another person. Now, the extent to which that was vocalized, not entirely sure, but it's more of a quiet bowing out when things broke apart versus like this major eruption. But even more so, I'm looking at somebody who's left with the possibility of everything that laid ahead of them. What do we do now? Now that we're here, what do we do with everything going forward? And if not, if this doesn't apply to that, it still applies to the Leo collective because I'm seeing that you're not happy with the home right now. If nothing else, we have to accept that, hey, maybe it's time to do some home cleaning, right? Maybe it's time to just say, hey, we got to move things out, get things in motion, pick myself back up. Let's go do this one more time. Okay? So in resolution, show cards of resolution for Leo in this read. What's held in the space of resolution for Leo in this read today? Queen of Swords. And now we know better, right? The first card that you ever pulled in this read, Leo, was Queen of Swords, saying, all I know is pain. I'm in a state of grief right now. Now, what more do I know? Let me give myself more credit for what it's worth. Page of Swords. Well, time to test that theory. And so if we're in a state of observance, that's where we are right now, but don't let that be your stopping place. We're observing pain, but we're observing a lot more if we allow it. Underneath it all, 10 of Wands, the burden of solitude and our basically our solo journey right now, it opens up a lot more than we thought. Now, how do we pursue that? All in all, this is what I got in your read today, Leo. Yes, we're trying to make sure with this coming year, 2025, that we don't repeat the same cycle of just the inevitability of a separation or pain. But more than that, and if we could rewind this a bit, understanding that things only get better when I make them that way. Long story short, all these cards, things only get better when I make them that way. But we're not talking about massive growth. It's just growth is where we give ourselves grace. So we can repeat the cycles. We can say and focus on everything that we did wrong, or we can focus on the life that we're trying to make for ourselves. Which one do you want to pursue? Because I know misery just gets so stale and boring sometimes, right? We don't have to feed it if we can feed other aspects of our lives. Let's pursue that, yeah? So that's why I see your read today, Leo. Hope this conversation helped. And yeah, it's tough, but there's so much of everything looking forward for you, especially in this month and this year. The more that we speak to it, the more that it becomes. Remember that. I'll see you around, okay? Take care.